Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. Welcome to Mathematics with Shahab Yaqub. So another S1 paper. This is October-November 2025, variant 53. Let's get started. The first question, it says, there are a large number of students at this college. They either travel by car, bus or on foot. The probability student travels by car is 0.4. The probability student travels by bus is 0.35, and that means if they ask for foot, that should be 0.25. Three students from the college are selected at random. Find the probability none of these three students travel to college by car. They are talking about car, so probability of success is car. Out of three, none. 3, C, 0. Success raised to power of 0. Failure raised to power of 3. Answer is exact. This is binomial. Another binomial question, 11 students from the college are selected at random. Find the probability fewer than 9 of these 11 students travel to college by car or by bus. Add both the probabilities, that is 0.75. So now the probability of success is 0.75. Probability y less than 9, that is y less than or equal to 8, that is 1 minus y greater than or equal to 9. So calculate the probability for 9, 10, 11, add it up and then subtract. So now probability of success is 0.75, write it in this box over here. Powers are 9, 10 and 11. And over here 0.25 will be there, that is the probability of failure. 11 and 9, the difference is 2 and then a 1 and then a 0. Now look at all the working. That is the answer for the first part. Let me highlight it. So this is the answer for this particular term. This is the answer for this particular one. This is the answer for this thing. Yes, the examiner requires it all. So write it down, write it down, write it down. At least 4 SF. Add it up. So 1 minus the sum of these values, and this is the rounded off value. So that is how question number 1 is done and dusted. Question number 2. It says the Splash Club has 26 members, of which 16 are swimmers, 10 are divers. No member is both a swimmer and a diver. The club committee consists of 6 out of these 26. In how many ways can the club committee be selected if it must include at least 2 swimmers, at least 2 divers? So now 2 swimmers, 2 divers, that is 4, and we need 6. So I have written it over here, at least 2, at least 2. If I fix this at 2, I have to make it 4. If I fix this thing at 3, I have to make it 3. If I fix this up at 4, then this has to be 2. So select the swimmer from the swimmer. So that is 16C2, 10C4, 16C3, 10C3, 16C4 and 10C4. These are all the different options. Of course, this is a question of selection. Add it up. That is an exact answer. Leave the answer in the exact form. Question number 3. And this first part, I have done it in 2 ways. So now this is first thing first. Find the number of different arrangements of the 9 letters in the word daffodils, in which there is a D at each end and the 2 Fs are not next to each other. A very frequently asked question. Now, before we proceed, whenever we have this kind of word, and of course that will be the scenario with lots of Ds in it and Fs in it. So there are 2 Ds, 2 Fs, A, O, I, L, S. Now the first method, fix the D, and the 2 Fs are not next to each other. So not next to each other means separated. That means the space concept. So just ignore these 2. Technically, the question is about this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means there are 6 possible spaces. You have to fit F in these 2 spaces. So this is 6p2 into 5 factorial. And now, yes, there is one thing that you need to consider. That is 6p2 divided by 2 factorial. The 2 factorial is technically for the f's. So this is for the 2 f's. And 5 factorial for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what about these 2? These 2 are fixed. They are pasted on the wall. So that is the answer. That is 1800. Let me first show you the next possible working for this one. When we talk about exactly two objects, and this applies to two objects only, not next to each other, that is separated, that is the same thing as not together. For more than two objects, not together is different, separated is different. So now D is fixed, and this is 7 factorial because there are 7 alphabets divided by 2 factorial. What if the two F's are together? So technically, this first one is without restriction, except for this restriction, of course, that is there. But inside, there is no restriction. Now, what if the two F's are together? So they are a box. So therefore, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is 6 factorial. What is happening inside the box? Practically nothing. It's 2 factorial over 2 factorial for the F's. So now the difference between this and this, that is also 1800. So these are two different ways. But keep in mind, not next to each other actually means separated. And that is the space concept. So let me write it over here. So not next to each other, that is the space concept. And not together, that is the subtraction concept without any restriction. Minus together will give me not together. So now coming back to this. This question they have asked a lot in 2025. Find the probability. Now keep in mind they're asking for a probability. Find the probability randomly chosen arrangement of 9 letters and the word has exactly 4 letters between the two D's. So this is that line concept. Count the number of line. This is exactly 4 letters. Check out the previous video. I think maybe it's February 2026 or 1 of 2025. There was at least 4 spaces. So there was 4 spaces and then 5 spaces and then 6 spaces and then 7 spaces. So check out that question also. So this is first and 6th possibility. That is the position. 2nd and 7th, 3rd and 8th, 4th and 9th. So there are 4 lines. So 4 lines for this. One for this. This is pasted. Out of these 7 spaces, they can arrange themselves in 7 vectorial ways. But don't forget, yes, there are 2 F's. That is this answer. Without restriction, these letters 9 factorial divided by 2 factorial, 2 factorial. This 2 factorial is for the D's. This 2 factorial is for the F's. And then the probability, that is divide. So now this thing was already discussed. Question number 4. It says a fair red spinner has 4 sides, numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. A fair blue spinner has 4 sides, 0, 1, 2, 3. When a spinner is spun, the score is the number on the side on which it lands. The 2 spinners are spun at the same time. Random variable x denotes the higher of the 2 scores obtained. And what if the scores are equal? The value of x is 0. So technically 1 and 1 is 0, 2 and 2 is 0, and then 3 and 3 is 0. There is no 4, 4, there is no 1, 1. So now between 1 and 2, the higher one is 2. Between 1 and 3, the higher one is 3, and so on. So these are the 16 possibilities. That's the table. Very simple. Do not reduce even if there is a possibility of reducing it. Now find variance of x, expectation of x, that is sigma x into p. So that is your value of x, that is your value of probability. Multiply it out. So 0 into 3, 1 into 1, 2 into 3, 3 into 5, 4 into 4. And since I have not reduced it, therefore that makes life very easy. Divide once by 16, leave the answer in the exact form. Now expectation of x squared, the same working except the x is being squared and then multiplied with the probability. Variance of x, the formula, you get this answer. Now it says the red spinner with sides numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 spun repeatedly. Find the probability it lands on 4 for the first time before the 8th spin. That means getting a 4 is success. The probability is 1/4. It is geometric probability distribution. As soon as you reach success, you stop. X less than 8, that's too much to calculate. Use this shortcut. That is probability. Let me write it over here. Probability x less than or equal to n, that is 1 minus q raised to power of n. The next one, that's also very important. Probability x greater than n, that is q power n. These two are very, very handy. And either you can work in the exact form or you can use a calculator, but make sure to round off to 3 significant figures. Question number 5. It says Chin has 3 boxes. Box A contains counters, 5 counters of which 3 are white and 2 are yellow. So let me just remove this color for right now. So this is box A. So now if I talk about box A, there is 3 white and 2 yellow. So that is white and there is yellow. This is counters. Now there is a box W. It contains 4 red marbles and 2 blue marbles and 3 blue marbles. There is another box Y. It contains 5 red and 3 blue marbles. Chen chooses 1 counter at random from box A. Now, if this counter is white, based upon this, if this counter is white, he chooses 2 marbles from the box at random without replacement. And what if this counter is yellow? What if this counter is yellow? He chooses 2 marbles from box Y at random without replacement. So now, technically, this is what is happening. Box A, there are counters. If you are choosing W, then you would be choosing from this one, that is box W. So this W is for white, this is for box W. So I hope there is no confusion over here. This is box W, this is box W, and again this is a box, and there is a box Y, there is a box Y, there is a box Y. So now this is without replacement, same logic, just have a good look. So now over here, 4 over 7 becomes 3 over 6, 3 over 7 becomes 2 over 6. So red and red, the numerator decreases. Of course, the denominator will definitely decrease. This is fixed probability, leave it as it is. 7 becomes 6, 7 becomes 6. Over here, 8 becomes 7, 8 becomes 7. Red becoming red, 4 becomes 3. Blue to blue, 3 becoming 2. Red to red, 5 becomes 4. Blue to blue, 3 becomes 2. The total probability should be 1, should be 1, should be 1, should be 1. That goes everywhere. Okay? And then you have all these options. Let me just write it down. This is white and then red and a red, and then white and a red and a blue, then white, blue, red, then white, blue, blue, and then yellow, red, red. This is yellow, red, blue. This is yellow, blue, red. This is yellow, blue, blue. There are 8 options. Now let's see which ones are the examiner talking about. Now it says find the probability 1 red and 1 blue marble are obtained. How can you get that? So you can get 1 red, 1 blue. Let me highlight it. So this is red. Let me choose the right color. This is 1 red. This is 1 red. This is 1 red. This is 1 red. So 1 red and 1 blue, like this, red, blue, and so on. So now think about it. We have this thing which is white, red, blue, red, yellow, red, blue, red, white, red, blue, red, yellow, red, blue, red. Pick up the probabilities. Take care of the denominator. 5 into 6 is 30, 30 into 7, 210. 5 into 8 is 40, 40 into 7, 280. So now these two probabilities, they have a denominator of 210. These two probabilities, they have a denominator of 280. So be very careful. When you add these two, that is 72 over 210. When you add these two, that is 60 over 280. And when you add and reduce, not necessary to reduce, but I have reduced it, that is 39 over 70. This is 1 red, 1 blue marble. Now it says find the probability a white counter is chosen. So that means white counter is chosen. This is white counter. This is white counter. And then it says given that 1 red, 1 blue marble is obtained, this is answer of part B. So this is answer of part B, like this. So this is like white, red, blue, white, blue, red. This is yellow, red, blue. This is yellow, blue, red. And we want white from box A. So this thing goes at the top. So that is 72 over 210 divided by 39 over 70. This answer is exact. That is 8 over 13. Got it? Question number 6. It says last Saturday, a cycling competition for 11 cyclists took place. For each, the time to complete the course was recorded. The time taken by cyclists from two teams, L and P, are shown in the following table. So there is this team, that is team L, and then there is this team, which is team P. The data is given. Draw back-to-back stem plot, stem and leaf diagram to represent this information. Follow the instruction lineages on the left hand side. So now this is pretty basic stuff, no time wasting, except that don't forget to write the key. So this is going like this way, okay, and this one is read this way. Now if I need the median, I know that 11 divided by 2 is 5.5, rounded up, that is the sixth value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the median over here. This one is the median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the median over here. And then when we have the sixth value, that is exactly in the middle, 5 bigger values, 5 smaller values, out of which the median is the lower quartile, out of which the median is the upper quartile. So that is pretty basic stuff. So now over here, this one, this is lower quartile. This one, that is upper quartile. This one is lower quartile. This one is upper quartile. Now they have only asked us so far for the interquartile range of the time taken by lineages, but I have the next page also. That is the box and whisker plot. So definitely I need the lower quartile for both of them. So this is the lower quartile for both of them. This is the upper quartile for both of them. The median is also there. So now this is interquartile range for lineage, interquartile range for the other team, which is P, Puffin. Now it says on the grid, draw box and whisker plot to represent this information. It's a 5-point summary. Lowest value, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, highest value. So make a habit of course, showing all the working, but also drawing a table where necessary. Drawing a table is good. It's best for you, for the examiner. And then when you draw a box plot, make sure you show a scale. That scale does not have to start from 0. This is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Our values are starting between 40 and 80 approximately. So the smallest one is 45, the biggest one is 74. So technically it lies within the range. 5-point summary. The 3 points in the middle, the lower quartile, median, upper quartile, you draw a box. The thickness doesn't make a difference, but make sure that this thickness and this thickness should be the same. And these three, they form a box. This is the median value. This is the median value. This is the whiskers, the left whisker, the right whisker, and so on. And next thing should be the comment. Make one comparison between the times taken. So now it's your choice what comparison you want to take. On average, that means I am basing this thing on the median. So it could be about the median, and maybe if it's about the mean, the same terminology, the same reasoning will be used. On average, puffins are faster than linnets because their times are lesser. Puffins are faster than this thing because this is lower. Faster is good. Less time is good. So 58 versus 60, do not write the obvious. On average means we are talking about the median. And if it says more varied, that means it's talking about interquartile range. So the times of puffin are more varied. So the interquartile range for puffins is 13. The interquartile range for linnets is 11. So there is more dispersion, more variability. So the times of puffins are more varied, more dispersed. You can also use this terminology compared to linnets. If you want to write it in a different way, I can say the times of linnets are more consistent. So the opposite of varied is consistent compared to the other team, which is puffins. So you can also write it out. Now, if they would be asking for 2 marks, so 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this. Since they only ask for 1 mark, choose any one. Question number 7. It says the time taken by OB to walk each morning is normally distributed. That's the mean, that's the standard deviation. First part, find the probability on a randomly chosen day. O takes more than 15.6 minutes to walk to work. This is the mean. This is standard deviation. Square makes it variance. X greater than 15.6. Standardize. Show all these steps. I cannot emphasize more than this. Show all these steps. So standardize, subtract the mean, divide by standard deviation, work to 3 dp because the z value can only be read up till 3 dp. So let me write this 3 in a nice manner, and then apply the rule. Z greater than a positive value is 1 minus z lesser than a positive value, and this is the probability for decimal places. You get this answer, round it off to the required level of accuracy. On 90% of the days, O takes more than t minutes to walk to work. X greater than t is 90%. Now this is about back solving. Back solving means using the p to find the z, to find the x value or the mu value or the sigma value and so on. 90% is good. 90% gives you this value. But remember, there is a greater sign. So greater sign means z value is negative. This is standardization. T minus 14.8 divided by 1.5. That equals to this thing. Make t the subject. That is the answer. Again, write 3 significant figures. Now, the last one. It says OB walks to work 5 days a week for 45 weeks in a year. So 5 into 45, that's 225 days in a year. On how many days in a year would you expectation to within 1 minute of the mean time? So now over here, the mean is 14.8. So I could have written it like this. X follows a normal distribution 14.8 comma 1.5 square. Just want to emphasize one thing, that either this could be written as 14.8, this is 15.8, this is 13.8. I can work with that, or I can work symbolically. So this is mu plus 1, this one is mu minus 1. When I'll subtract the mean, so mu and mu will cancel out, leaving behind a 0. If this was 14.8 plus 1 minus 14.8, I'll still be left with 1. The same thing over here, I'll be left with negative 1. So now this is negative 1 over 1.5. This is positive 1 over 1.5. One z value is positive, the other z value is negative. So this is rule number 7 according to the way that I have taught you. That means if z lies between two values, this is positive, this is negative. Of course, discard the negative sign. Read the probability, add it up, subtract 1, you get this answer. They are asking for expectation. So what needs to be done? That 225 multiplied by this, you are getting this thing. Round it up, round it down, both are acceptable. So now remember, this has to be an integer. So that is how I think it's all done. That is how this paper is done and dusted. So that is October-November 2025, variant 53. This is S1. And yes, the other variants are also there. 51 is done, 52 is done, 55 is done. This is October-November plus the February-March 2026 paper, variant 52. That's also there. Wish you all the best of luck. Take care, everyone.